Calgary, demonstrators rallied outside of two Alberta constituency offices on Monday to protest what they described as the province's inability to provide meaningful supports for special needs children. The group, comprising mostly parents, said Alberta's Family Support for Children with Disabilities (FSCD) agency, which provides funding to help children with severe disabilities, doesn't live up to its mission. Demonstrators targeted the constituency office of Alberta Minister of Community and Social Services Irfan Sabir on Monday to protest what they described as a lack of support for special needs children. Elizabeth Cameron, FSCD helps about 10,000 children and their families each year. Its website describes the program as a series of family-centered supports designed to encourage a child's participation in home and community activities. Jen Thompson organized the demonstration of roughly a half-dozen parents outside the Calgary constituency office of NDP MLA Irfan Sabir. She said her 5-year-old son, who has severe autism, wasn't getting direct therapy to address his needs. Instead, she said she was getting counseling on how to properly parent him. It's not about me. Maybe I need therapy after years of fighting with the government, but I had no issues before. It's him. He needs the help, Thompson said. Article continued below. She said her son now receives direct therapy, but only because of the hours she put in advocating for him, time other parents don't necessarily have to spend. The demonstrators said they're pushing the government to commit to providing direct therapy for children immediately, and to make significant changes to FSCD policy in the long term. They also cited difficulty getting regular access to the various specialists, psychologists, psychiatrists, occupational therapists, among others, who are funded by FSCD. Thompson said these specialists bill the province for a certain number of hours every month, but they don't arrange enough appointments to justify the expense. In my son's case, he gets 48 hours a year per clinician, she said. So the agency just charges 4 hours a month, no matter how many times that clinician shows up. And what's happening is that they're not showing up. She claimed that other parents told her that their children were only seeing their assigned clinicians just 20% of the time allotted to them. Jen Thompson, whose son has autism, writes a message on a patch of sidewalk outside of MLA Irfan Sabir's constituency office in northeast Calgary. She organized rallies in both Calgary and Edmonton on Monday to highlight concerns about supports for special needs children. Brennan Doherty, Star Metro Calgary, Maria Castro, a former computer engineer raising 2 sons with autism, said she was not offered specialized services for her children from FSCD, despite having an official diagnosis. Article continued below. Back in the day when I started, my child did not get these services to grant him therapy, she said, adding that her 12-year-old son initially suffered from the lack of direct therapy. He self-harmed, was nonverbal and frequently tried to run out of the house, but Castro said he's doing better now, but only because she put together a team of private clinicians. MLA Sabir, who also serves as Alberta's Minister of Community and Social Services, said the government has been gathering input from concerned parents since May and intends to release a "What We Heard" report from a series of meetings with parents within the week. We will ensure better access to direct services for children, and we will continue to work with families and advocates on all issues that matter to them, he said in a prepared statement. The waste of money is part of what angers parents involved in the group. But Thompson said what's also frustrating is the inability of parents to choose any clinician they wish for their child. The agency's funding only applies to a list of clinicians chosen by FSCD. This appears to go against the mandate of the agency, she said, which sees itself as providing parent-focused supports. This isn't necessarily a problem, Castro said, but parents also need the help of professional clinicians who are trained to treat children with disabilities. We want to be involved with the care of our children. We want to learn the strategies. But there are methodologies of established rehabilitative practices that will take you there, she said. The result of not having out-of-family support for children with special needs can be difficult. In Castro's case, it meant quitting her job as a computer engineer. I had a very good job, and I had to quit to stay with my children to rehabilitate them, she said. Additional spending isn't part of the group's demands. Instead, it wants the Alberta government to push FSCD to allocate more of its funds towards services, rather than administration costs. Thompson also pointed out that, in the case of autism, direct therapy early on can be less expensive than providing supports to a person with the condition later in life. There's got to be more and better that can be done with those same tax dollars, Castro said. Brennan Doherty is a work and wealth reporter with Star Metro Calgary. Follow him on Twitter at Bren Doherty.